You guys, my number one inspiration for starting this channel was the movie Pump Up the Volume. Stars Christian Slater, and he plays this really cool uh, pirate radio guy, and he plays really cool songs by the Pixies, and and then he'll get on the air and he talks to all his high school classmates about jerking off, and and it's and I'm not this is actually a real movie that they made. He taught, and everybody in his high school loves it, and they're listening to it, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy's fucking cool. And then all the girls are like, yeah, I want to meet this guy. Wow, he's so interesting. He's talking about jerking off. Um, like his name is like Horny Harry, and he's talking about this, and then he gets serious, and then he's like, yeah, we have fun around here, but let's get fucking serious, guys. We gotta rise up against the school. And yeah, and it's great. It's really good. Um, yeah, because he's like, we gotta bombard the headquarters. He's like an interruption of our scheduled programming. Let's fucking rise up and fucking just go hard. Um, anyway, what I really wanted to talk about was, do you ever realize how some people, I think this is a rather recent phenomenon, because it definitely didn't used to be this way. Like the closer you get to like early internet stuff, I don't think that it was like this really. Or I just don't think people thought about it like this, but you ever realize that there's like a certain type of person that seems more willing to trust information from a source, whether that be a book, a website, whatever. They're more willing to trust it if it seems more like it's written by a crazy person who is like, but I think the term for this is crank. They see crankishness as a sign of trustworthiness or like validity or something. Um, I see this online, and it's like the stupidest contrarianism to me. Um, there used to be this guy, I think he's dead, but there used to be a guy named David Dees, who I'm sure that many of you have heard of. And he made these crazy images. He was a master of Photoshop, and he made these crazy political images of George Bush releasing GMOs into the world, and transgendering kids with telephone signals, and it was just like it really ran the gamut of really awesome like 90s and early 2000s like conspiracy theories. And he found an artistic language for these things, like FEMA camps and stuff, like just, I mean, I don't have to fucking explain David D's, you can just look it up. But uh this used to be a sign, like these types of images, when you'd see them, they're very busy images. They're very busy. They have a lot of stuff going on in them. They have a lot of words that may or may not be about the Bilderberg group, and you know, just lots of, protocols of the elders of Zion and things like that. But you know, you would see this stuff and you would see that busyness, and that busyness comes from very obviously someone who is kind of like not able to hold on to like a thought long enough to communicate the whole thing. And it's kind of like it's like the way that someone communicates to you when they're like out of breath, uh and they need to like, and they're really scared of something, and so they're trying to communicate, like tell you something really fast so that no time is wasted, so that you can aid them. It was like if someone was like out of breath because they were running from someone trying to kill you, they would talk this way, that these images convey information, because it's like the way they convey information is like David Dees is about to be killed any minute, and he has to just get all of the government secrets out there so that everybody can see it, because this might be the last picture, this might be the last Photoshop of Dick Cheney releasing chemtrails that he does before he's killed by Mossad. So he has to get fucking everything in there. He's got to put all the crazy symbols, he's got to put GMOs, he's got to do everything. Um, People used to see that and go, okay, well, this sure is interesting, but it's made by a crazy person, so maybe I'm not gonna trust this as I would something that is more reputable. And I don't mean to sound like, oh, you should only use the New York Times, and use a paper of record or whatever, because obviously that's bullshit. But the opposite of that is also bullshit, where people go, oh, well, this guy seems really unstable. So I'm gonna just kind of adopt this whole thing. But I see this so much, and it's really it's accelerated since 2020, I think. And people just fucking went crazy with conspiracy theories and conspiratorial thinking, and they just got lost in a lot of ways, I think. And it's resulted in this very vulgar, I don't know, like sense that people have where they see something like this. They see like a crazy website that looks like Time Cube, and assume that that means it's more, that you can trust this. I was thinking about that, and something came to me. what if it's like some kind of ancestral memory or some kind of epigenetic phenomenon where going back to when there was this class of clergy that essentially hoarded the truth for themselves, and they would throw out little scraps to the general populace, but it was always something that if you were the kind of person that thought critically about any of it, it was just immediately and obviously like things that they were making up in order to placate you. Like the kind of things that like Martin Luther talks about, that like the Catholic Church handing out indulgences that where you could like pay to get out of purgatory when you died or something like that. Like I just imagine that there were like lots of things like that, and that's basically the only kind of interface with quote unquote truth you were able to get for a really, really long time. So if you wanted to understand the reality of the world in any real way and not just, you know, take in what these people were telling you as the truth, you would have had to listen to gossip and to people who were, uh, maybe kind of like shady people or something in order to get something else than this very obvious lie that was being given to everyone. The problem with that is, you know, we've had the glorious revolution and we've had, you know, the French Revolution, we had the great Robespierre. They've all, they toppled that whole thing. It's all gone now. Uh, and we're here in liberal democracy, which is, far from completely transparent, obviously. But uh, the funny thing is, people will tell you the truth right to your face. And then, if you are of a certain mind, you will like make up this insane story in your head about why they're wrong. Um, you know, you think that you're still a peasant, but you're actually not. None of us are peasants anymore. Although there are still peasants, obviously still exist. If there weren't, the Journal of Peasant Studies would go out of business. They'd have nobody to write about.